7.
Mr. Bethune received his Master of Library Science from Atlanta University. He served 3 years in the United States Army during World War II. He has accomplished much throughout his life. Mr. Bethune is the founder/coordinator of Bethune-Cookman College Inspirational Gospel Choir and founder and CEO of Mayor McLeod Bethune Legacy Foundation Incorporated. Mr. Bethune has lived a life of hard work, and he pledged Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. But he didn't stop there. He has served at our beloved university. He became the chairman of the Bethune-Cookman College Athletic Council for 10 years. He is a recipient of the Bethune-Cookman College Medallion in 1975. He has received an award for 30 years of service. As you can see, Mr. Bethune is a man who wears many hats. He wears them with excellence. A great man indeed, and I'm honored here today. So without further ado, please help me in welcoming Mr. Albert McLeod Bethune.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
As you all know, I'm Albert McLeod Bethune Jr., the grandson and legally son through the courts of Mary McLeod Bethune. I'm 91 years old. I have only missed 15 years of the development of this institution. I was born, this Bethune-Cookman started in 1904. I was born 1921. At the age of 6 weeks, my father brought me to Daytona Beach and gave me to my grandmother. I'm going to change the program just a little bit. I'm going to talk that night about Mary McLeod Bethune, the social entrepreneur. This is Albert McLeod Bethune Jr.'s personal story. I stand before you today as the oldest and closest living descendant of Mary McLeod Bethune. I am the closest because she was a grandmother who reared me. I am the oldest because I am 91 years young. This evening you will notice that I am one who will not speak of my grandmother as she has been spoken or portrayed year after year and through history as Mary McLeod Bethune, the educator, Mary McLeod Bethune, the political advisor, Mary McLeod Bethune, civil rights activist, Mary McLeod Bethune, the founder of the National Council of Negro Women. I have come here today to enlighten you by giving you an entirely different perspective of my grandmother's timeless legacy. So ladies and gentlemen, on this day, as we gather to celebrate and honor Mary McLeod Bethune, and without further ado, please allow me to introduce to you Mary McLeod Bethune, the social entrepreneur. This phase may be new to you. From the first impression of the phase, perhaps you thought of my grandmother as a social butterfly, giving teas and parties, and most weekends and every other day. One whose business was about socializing, just having a good time in general. Well, I'm here to tell you there weren't enough hours in a day where she would have the time to do anything but plan her work and work her plan to change the lives of many. Let me first begin by describing Mary McLeod Bethune, the entrepreneur. She was an extraordinary woman who was driven by her intellect and business savvy. She sold boiled eggs and sweet potato pies to help finance the opening of the Daytona Literary and Industrial School for girls with 6 students, 5 girls and her son Albert. The school grew to become a 4-year college and is recognized today as Bethune-Cookman University, Daytona Beach, Florida. This accomplishment has given Mary McLeod Bethune the honor of being recognized as the first woman to have established a secondary school that became a 4-year accredited college. She was one of the founders of the Central Life Insurance Company of Tampa, Florida. In 1952, when the previous co-founder died, Mary McLeod Bethune became the president, making her the only woman in America, while white or black, to hold such a position. She served as director and held capital stock in one of the most influential African-American insurance companies, which was known as the Afro-American Life of Jacksonville. She founded the McLeod Hospital in Daytona Beach, Florida in 1912. And she was one of the primary investors of the Pittsburgh Courier, the country's most widely circulated African-American newspaper. Perhaps my grandmother's greatest entrepreneurship and skills were demonstrated in 1943 when she, along with several other business owners, purchased a 2.5-mile stretch of oceanfront property known as Bethune-Volusia Beach Corporation. This tract of land consisted of recreation areas, housing developments located on the beach for African Americans who were denied general access due to segregation. She was also instrumental in having the first African American resort motel built on this property, which was known as Welricha Motel. She further demonstrated her talents by assisting those homeowners to gain access to basic utilities such as sewage, water, and electricity. She was able to help by using her business savvy to raise $500,000, which forever changed the lives of the people in that community. So you see this new term, social entrepreneur, introduced to you this evening, was unheard of in this era. For today, it is the forefront of becoming a new movement in society, which has taken the world by storm. It is happening in Africa, South America, Europe, and other foreign lands, as well as here at home. Folks all around the world are trying to become connected to this movement by labeling themselves as social entrepreneurs. According to most scholars, a social entrepreneur is an agent of change who seizes the opportunity in finding solutions to help the disadvantaged and disenfranchised as one of who changes society for the better. Business entrepreneurs are motivated by profits, but social entrepreneurs are motivated by an improved society which benefits humanity. When I first read this definition, I immediately thought of someone I had known my entire life. My grandmother, for she embodied all these attributes. She was a true agent of change, who should be recognized and celebrated as one of the most distinguished social entrepreneurs of the 20th century. All of these business ventures started by my grandmother wasn't about her. It was about how she wanted to make a difference in the lives of others, which is clearly stated in two of her favorite philosophies, saying, not for myself, but for others. And I feel as I give, I get. So from this day forward and hereafter, when you speak of my grandmother, speak of a courageous woman who plowed through the barren lands of injustice, planting seeds of love to emancipate us. When you speak of my grandmother, speak of a persistent woman who plowed through the barren lands of despair, planting seeds of hope to liberate us. When you speak of my grandmother, speak of a highly motivated woman who plowed through the barren lands of ignorance, planting seeds of confidence to educate us. And when you speak of my grandmother, I ask that you please speak of a resourceful woman who plowed through the barren lands of adversity, planting seeds of faith to uplift us. Her devoted toil and historic journey to this great nation can best be reflected in the words of one of our most famous quotes. Invest in the human soul. Who knows, it may be a diamond in the rough. With only $1.50, Mary McLeod Bethune invested in America's promise, believing all men were created equal, with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. America's promise became Mary McLeod Bethune's hope that one day we would rise up out of the land of despair if we empower ourselves economically and politically. America's promise became Mary McLeod Bethune's voice of confidence by having us own banks, insurance companies, and other businesses would become the blueprint to self-determination. Her ultimate commitment was for us to spread out as far and as fast as we can, helping each other along the way. And finally, America's promise became the ship that steered her, the plane that propelled her, the winds that guided her, and the dreams that inspired her. A responsibility to our young people. They must never lose their zeal for building a better world, for they are to be the leaders of tomorrow. I can hear my grandmother saying, faith and believing in America, promise brought her from the cotton fields of Maysville, South Carolina, to pursue a dream with only $1.50. Faith and believing in America, promise brought her from the coastal shores of Daytona Beach, Florida, to the front doors of the national capital. Faith and believing in America, promise brought her from the White House back home to her final resting place in Daytona Beach, Florida. And it was her great hope that all of her life experiences would serve as a catalyst for each and every one of us to continue her dream. Therefore, my grandmother's incomparable legacy was living to serve mankind, for she envisioned a world of peace, progress, brotherhood, and love. In the words of the great poet Langston Hughes, I too sing America. God bless and each and every one.
All right.
Do you have any questions?